My mum had 4 boys
Yeah.
by 4 different men. Friendly, envious of any of my male brethren and associates that have had kids that have been around me,
Why was that?
because I always thought that I could do it.
Okay.
And I come from a family of, my mum had 4 boys
Yeah.
by 4 different men.
And okay, how did that make you feel? And what part did you come in the 4 brothers?
I'm second of my mum's children.
And are you tight with all your brothers?
On my mum's side, we grew up together, so
Okay.
I come from the era where the kids that your mum have are your real brothers and sisters, period.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
What were you gonna say?
I was just about to say that if your mum has kids,
If your mum's got the kids
They must-
with and there's different dads,
Yeah.
they're your real brother and
They're
sister.
your real
Yeah.
brother and
It,
sister.
it goes into the half brother when daddy
With
does
that,
it.
Yeah.
But
Do
then
you
why?
understand?
So far,
Hold on,
It's mad, but I got that. I've most really brought in the same era too, where that's what I
Okay.
believe.
But hold on. Why is it that when it's the dad, it's half brothers, half sisters, but when it's the mum,
I don't-
it's just brothers
But then,
or it's just
but
sisters?
then again, till to this day now, I don't believe that. I believe it's your brother. That's your brother.
But
or your
I don't-
sister.
Oh, is that? Oh,
Now it's changed for me.
wait, all right.
Oh,
As I've grown, it's
okay,
changed.
Okay.
So now I see a different perspective of it.
okay.
If the dad, as the dad's got the you out there and the one there, the two, they're brother and sister, man. That's
Sometimes
it.
it's your relationship with your dad, though. I feel as well.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I'm with you, Chris.
So-
I've always seen that.
All right, so
Yeah.
go on. So going back to the 4 brothers with your
Yeah.
mum. Go on.
Right. So my mum had 4 boys in it. I'm the second in line. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, my mum, I salute her highly because she went through. At the time when we was young, I saw the struggle early for her because I felt like my mum didn't lie to me.
Yeah.
My dad came around for me when I was like 13, and I'm going to tell you a true story here.
Yeah.
Not look, people that know me know this story, but I'm going to tell it because it's true.
Keep on talking.
Me and my brothers were playing football once in a little playground, like across the road from where we lived, and we used to play there often. Everyone knows the World Cup, you know what I mean, the pick a country and whatever. Boom, boom, boom. We're playing football, and me and my brothers, we have like a sibling rivalry where we diss, like period. We used to do it regular. My mum used to go mad about it, but we used to be like, your dad's a dickhead, your dad's a dickhead, your dad's a dickhead. Meanwhile, Pam, my mum, I love her dearly.
Yeah.
To kill the conversation when she'd had enough, she'd be in her room. She'd listen to it for like about 5, 10, 15 minutes sometimes an hour. When she's ready, oh, you little dad's a dickhead anyway.
Yeah.
And real talk, that was the end of the situation. So going back to the story, we was in the playground and on this day, I scored this goal, right? And my older brother was pissed because he was in goal. And he was like, shut up. Hey, look, that dread over there looks like you. That's your dad. Now, it's mad, right? Because I had grown up with my mum separated from my dad for whatever reasons. I come to find out later on the truth and later on in life, but for whatever reasons, and I was growing under my mum being with around another man who accepted me as his child. Now, I always knew I wasn't his child deep within me.
Yeah.
His family, I want to salute them as exceptional human beings because, again, the era that I was brought up in and the family values that I was brought up on, who my mum trusts is who I can see in my face, and I will always trust myself, if that makes sense, as in the people that my mum was around never steered me wrong.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
The guy, obviously your brother's dad, is it the third brother?
Yeah.
Was it his dad who
No.
is it the fourth one?
No. A totally separate man.
Oh, so okay.
Totally separate man.
So the other brothers, obviously the 2 younger ones,
Yeah.
the third and the fourth, did you ever get that father figure from their fathers towards you when they was around? Like, how was the dads towards you? Obviously, you was the second child.
Well, to be fair, my mum's a powerful individual. So my mum don't, nothing don't happen unless my mum says so.
Yeah.
In her, like she was the king of the castle, king, queen, she rules everything. So there was no need for, let's say, my brother's dads to be a dad to me, if that makes sense. Because, like I said, my mum had other influences around that were, now I can see it for what it was. It was like to kind of like, as influences that was substituting for the lack of guidance that the man that is my blood, sperm donor, father figure that's supposed to be there. Do you understand?
Oh, that's what I was about to ask you.
Okay.
So, what was obviously, did you know your dad growing up?
No. So I'm glad you asked that. So going back to, remember the story I was just telling about the playground?
Yeah.
The roster that my brothers were saying, that man looks like you, because he was pissed. Lo and behold, this is my actual dad.
Your biological father.
Yeah. So I looked across that road and I was kind of like, so, you know.
What age was you at roughly around that time?
We was like 12, 11, 12, 13. So.
Did the whole, between then, from since you're young to 12, 13, that's the first time you ever saw your dad?
Personally, in the flesh that I can remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've always, like I said, my mum, the other gentleman, and I'm going to salute his efforts for what I can see, like what
he was trying to do.
Probably trying to do. But I don't understand his reasons behind it, because up to this day,
you still in contact with him?
I know him, yeah. So it's weird because the vibe that I get with him, I hold no malice towards him. But you know that over the years, things have happened, if that makes sense, where I've lost my temper in certain situations, and you know what I mean? Family feuds, let's just say family feuds, and words have been exchanged, and, you know, fists have flown certain places, and you know, misconstrued, like I said, conversations and things I've had. So moving forward from that bit, so I say, like, the gentleman, I was grown a little bit like believing for some, because there was a man there, that was my dad, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
because giving that father figure, that man kind of.
But he wasn't. No, but he wasn't doing that. It was just as in the silhouette.
Yeah.
So
he's not doing fuck all, but he's there.
No, well, to a certain, I don't know what him in agreement my mum and him had, because like I said, my mum ruled things.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, when I was younger, I had mad temper issues, like mad behaviour issues in school. I was fighting a lot. My mum dealt with coming up to school a lot.
But was that okay? Was that related to you not being around your father, or was that around to seeing that your mum was always like struggling to keep the family together?
I was as a child, I can be honest and say I was upset with a lot of. So my brothers would go with their dads.
Okay.
Now you're angry.
My brothers would. This is what annoyed me with life that I lived. So I believed in everything my mum showed me, told me, and what we went through as while you're with her. So, like I'm saying, I'm thinking my brother's dads they're not doing loads, but you know,
they're coming around, and they're taking your brothers, and they're going away with them.
I would always be with my mum. Hence, where, like I'm saying, the gentleman who was the silhouette, you know, as my mum's partner at that point in time, they've separated, but his family proper took the time to say, do you know what, Christopher's ours.
Okay.
You know, he's his sister, exceptionally, I call her my auntie to this day, she definitely is. There's a saying that blood sometimes is definitely thicker than water, but then, you know, like, I'm going to just say, yeah, true, but then there's certain people that have come in my time of need when I didn't even know that I was thirsting for that assistance.
Yeah.
They've helped me.
So, are you still in contact with that family still today? Like, if they have like family get-togethers, and all that, that's still
me and the
going on?
cousins, we're cousins.
That's good.
Me and the gentleman that is the silhouette that played the stepdad role as by name, and sometimes he would be around, but he didn't need to do anything because I felt my mum had it under control.
Do you call him dad or
Never?
No.
Never. And I don't mean that in a
disrespectful way.
disrespectful term, because this is where now. So moving forward, I know who my dad is now, innit? Like, remember I said in this playground moment.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that quickly. This man's like, he's heard. It's weird because we're shouting at each other. Like my brother, I'm saying, "Shut up," you know, shut up. They're like, "Look at the Rasta, he's your dad," and I'm like, whatever. He's turned around. He's visiting this woman who lives a couple doors, not away from.
Was it
us.
next to the school?
No, we're in a little. When we went at school, it was a playground across the road from my block.
Yeah.
This is a weekend, like a Saturday. We're just playing football, World Cup as a normal day.
Okay.
So he's turned around, and then he's looking. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. No, I'm still arguing with my brothers, and we're laughing and catching joke and whatever. Then he's walked over. He said, "Hey," in a Grenadian accent, "Where mother is?"
Because
yeah.
you know you look exactly like him.
I was listen. Later on, this is gonna get so
Mad.
honest and so real, because see, like, my cousin here sitting there just said, "You know, you look just like your dad." I know. And you know what?
When you first saw him,
He would have seen that too.
no. When he first saw you, did he know you? He was he was his child, or
I would say so, because
It's
of,
like looking at yourself when you're younger. What do you
because
mean?
of the
You would have
honesty,
seen him.
because of what is real, because the Rastafarian in front of me on the playground is my dad. Yeah, he knew. So he's like, "Where your mother is?" I said, "Don't talk to my mum." Told him not to talk to strangers, because one thing with my mum, she don't play.
yeah,
As in, we could get away with what I class as rudeness from others because of my mum's standing in the so-called community. Like, she's known by everyone, if that makes sense. So people don't tend to say Pam's kids were rude. They say that's what Pam told them to say, if that makes sense. If there was a situation. But yeah, so we've gone to my block. I've knocked on my door. I said, "Mum, this man said Ray wants to come to your house," and he said, and why does he look like that? Was a
confusion. Now the confusion. Would you say you was confused at the time?
No, not confused. I was just because, like I remember, I said earlier on in this, I knew that the silhouette gentleman that was the stepfather wasn't my dad.
Okay.
So looking at this human being, it's a hot box.
Because you had them questions growing up. So where's my dad then? Because you know that man, that silhouette was not
The
your
only
dad.
conversations my mum gave me about my dad, and I don't blame her for giving me this now, was honesty, as in, when I show you who your father is, you're not going to be impressed with him, because I don't think what I want you to actually have as, you know, as a human being, as a father, he's not going to be for you.
Can I ask you a question, Chris?
Yeah.
No, go on. I got it. Go on.
No, you go.
No, you go first. I go after.
Do you think your mum, obviously, like you and your mum's relationship, your mum's your mum, but do you think she was wrong for kind of saying that? Do you feel? I feel that you should go and find that out, in a sense.
Yeah. I don't think my mum was wrong for it.
Nah.
Because of the climate of the times that I was growing up in.
Yeah.
I'm an 80s child. I'm born in 81. At that time, it genuinely was your next door neighbor watches out for you.
We know them days. We know
now,
them days.
people claim that happens and it don't.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
So I'm a father of 3. There's people that I know that know my children. Do they watch out for them? No, they don't. They attend the functions and they attend everything that I'm not saying that they shouldn't. And later on, we'll get into as to why I've got this view, if that makes sense. But no, answering your original question, I don't think my mum was wrong for giving me the view that she gave me of my dad, because ultimately it didn't set me up for a disappointment, as in what I did learn and what I did actually see from the human being that is actually my blood father.
Do you, going back to obviously back to your dad, have you actually sat down and had a conversation with him?
Oh, mate.
To find out,
yes,
what, because what I'm trying to say to you is, there's always 2 sides to it. There's got the mum's version and you got the dad's version.
Yes.
What's the dad's version?
My dad's version is, I'm gonna give it to you as honest, and you're probably gonna laugh. It's gonna be so. This is crazy that I even can give it to you. This is as honest as I can be. Your mother, I'm gonna say it directly. So your mum's very troublesome. What your mum was concerned with was raving and being up and down on the streets with her friends at the time. I wanted to take care of you. I even was around helping her with your older brother.
Okay.
That's his speech.
Okay. So, from the dad's point of view, because we have to look at both point of views. We know that your mum, she was superwoman. She played mother and father towards you. Your dad he did want to have access to you. He did want to see you, but it was whatever reasons what your mum was doing was pushing her away not to come and check for you.
Yeah, but I know that his real life contradicts all of that, because I got a brother that's like 6 months born in 6 months older than me, so he's born in my year.
And was
That's from your dad's side, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
listen, wait. That's just one of his kids. So I got a couple.
and does he check for any of his kids?
Well, all of the patterns are exactly the same.
So there's the one who's older than you, the 6 months apart one.
Yeah.
He doesn't check for that one. Or
No, apparently his mum had issues, and there's reasons as to why that relationship went wrong, and that guidance that he tried to show went wrong. I'm close. Right. So as well, let me rewind, because remember we talked about what my view was on whether or not your brothers are, who's genuine your brothers and who's not.
From
So
your dad's side, yeah.
I met my brother, the older one that's older than me, from what I class as that's the one I know as my dad's oldest child.
yeah.
I don't know if that's true 100%, but going by what the gentleman who is my actual dad says, that's his oldest child.
How many brothers and sisters you have on your dad's side?
Okay, boy, the dread's been busy, and I don't mean that in
Yeah, in a rude way, right? Yeah.
um,
Because you got to
I
remember in the
know-
Rastafarians world, that they do have lots of kids.
And
Some of
wait a
them.
minute.
Them things are a standard.
Hold on a second. You said that a bit too calmly for my liking. Listen to what you lot just said. You no disrespect
Yeah.
to as well, really. You said, remember the Rastafarians and them.
Some of them.
Yeah. Now, why is that the norm?
I don't know, because my uncle's a Rastafarian, and off my back of my hands, he's got something like over, I think, 15 kids. Right? My great granddad's got like 37 to 36 kids.
I hear you.
My granddad.
That's my great granddad.
Listen, my granddad is a dread, and I'm trying to think right now because I know the numbers in between 11 and 15. I'll be honest.
listen
My
to
granddad.
see that 15, that number. That's 15 individual human beings that have been born to women. At no point in time, no disrespect to no powers or what be that Selassie I give these gentlemen that they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not disrespecting no one's religion here when I say this.
100%.
So, how can you devote your time to 15 children, please?
Because it's facts.
So-
It's facts. But
The point I'm making now, so you asked me how many kids has my dad got. I know of myself. I know of 6 children,
Okay.
should we say. So I'm probably 7. But then there's...
So you said there's 6 olders before you?
No.
Okay.
From what I believe,
There's 6 or 7 of you.
I've got one older brother, Cameron, who's 6 months older than me.
Yeah.
And me and him are close as we can be. My mum looked at me, she looked at him, and said, didn't I tell you don't bring no one to my damn yard? And I got slapped.
Okay.
she said, oh, okay.
I was vexed. But on this occasion, I affirmed it.
But did he knew where you lived before? Was that the first time he knows where you live?
Well, he was fronting like he didn't.
Okay.
He was fronting like he didn't. Let me just say this. This story is going to get
Yeah.
mad as I'm telling it. So I took the slap and I said, Mum, why are you slapping me for? The man told me about he wants to come to our house and rob. He does look a bit like me, you know. And she's like, yeah, this is your father. He's a pain in the ass. I don't want him to know where I live. He ain't gonna do nothing for you. It was like direct. You know, boom. So she said, well, this is what you've been asking me for time. Do you know what? She's looked at my dad and said, you know what? You're not ready for the child that is yours because this is what you want. You want to come to my house? Deal with your child. He's got questions for you. Christopher, remember everything you've been asking me. This is your dad. And I'm sorry you had to learn it like this, but this is your father. Yeah, I'm telling you the truth. So I was like, I looked at him and I thought, cool, we have to go inside, innit? Like, and
Yeah.
have the conversation. And my brothers were laughing. This is what's joke. Because remember, I left them at the playground.
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh no, I don't know if I said that. I
No.
left them at the playground.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah.
So they've come now. They're laughing. It's banter, like what we class as banter now. Like, Raj, your dad, he's got locks and that later. Like, he doesn't dread. Now all of my it's weird, and all of my brothers on my mum's side, dads, they're all different men. As in, my older brother's dad, he's a what I class as a real hard working class human being. He's worked in offices. I don't know what his line of business was, but when he came from my older brother, Patrick Ewing's, Reebok pumps and them, something there. Adrian had them. And
So was it in the house? Was it like every dad just took care of the own? They wasn't looking out for your brother?
not all the time.
Or the other ones?
It depend on how my mother and them was getting on at the time, I have to say, because Adrian's, my older father, or my older brother's dad on my mum's side, like I said, he was like the working man. So Adrian would have the new things. Like if Adrian wanted it, he'd have it. He'd go to his nans and whatever, he'd come back, he's got it. So the turnover used to be crazy. You know the hand-me-downs thing?
Yeah.
I weren't pissed to have Adrian's Reebok pumps and things because they're new.
Yeah.
It's a wipe down situation. Adrian, my older brother, only when he's bantering me, you got my books on.
Oh yeah, of course.
But that's, you know what I mean? A man outside can't tell me that. Because obviously then it's me and Adrian versus them, if that makes sense. And where we came from, that's what it was. But there was none of that. So sibling rivalry, it went on. So my younger brother's dad, he was a very hard-working man as well. He used to take, no matter what, the brother after me, Stefan, let me be real, he was at his nan's every weekend. 6 weeks holiday, wham, them man, he's gone St. Kitts. Because that's where his family's from.
Yeah.
Gone. Like,
So you was always the one left behind.
always. But I never had no bad childhood because I'm staying in my mum's house.
Yeah.
My mum took me to what I class as valuable lessons for life that I live now.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the silhouette gentleman, I'm referring to him, I don't mean a rude man, I have to keep stressing this. The gentleman I played the stepdad role at the time, his family's big. So I was around them a lot. The young ones that I grew up with there is my age group, they're my family properly. Completely.
I'm going to reverse it back to what was kind of previously said.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so you was talking about, obviously, you had, anger management or behavior. So we're talking about anger, and then it was also talking about, to me, that it seems like, out of all your brothers, did all the other brothers used to cuss each other, or they always used to cuss you?
It was all of us against all. Say, like, I'm not like I said, my older brother's only 2 years older than me. So as much as he thinks he's a big man, you're only 2 years older than me. And back in the day, this is truth, I used to tuck him in. Even though he was older, I used to tuck him in. But then it was weird because he grew tall. And it was weird. One day, I'm swear down, this is fact. We was in my mum's flat, you know what I mean, having a Barney. And I just felt like he just had some different strength because he was taller. It's weird. You know, like, so we just said we're not going to fight no more, if that makes sense. But then we had one more and then we mashed up a door.
Yeah.
So then it was weird. My mum said, this was my mum's ultimate ruling. She said, I'm tired of you lot fighting against each other. Do you know what's really weird? I never hear of you lot actually having to fight people together outside. So the next time you lot fight in my house, imagine the rent's going up. Now, I come again, like, my mum's 4 boys. You know, she worked as much as she could, or her personal circumstances allowed, and we weren't broke.
Yeah.
We never wanted for, but it was a thing where she's got 4 boys in it. So if someone's getting a tracksuit and trainers 1 week, the next one might get it in the next 2 weeks.
So it was getting done in turns.
Yeah,
It was done in
Period,
terms. When
procedure.
mummy gets money, you would get your thing
But
this
then
week.
them lot's dads, like I said, because them lot would get it. I was for the whole 13 years until that day when the man came. So, boom. Remember, my mum said you wanted to chat to your dad now, right? I've said to him, listen, my mum goes through it, you know.
Show me some stuff.
Yeah, I said it, I'm not gonna lie. I had to. The reason why I chose to say it on that day, because many a times the conversation was in my throat, but it didn't. There was no need for me to give it to my mum because my mum was so honest with showing me how she provides for us and lives. So like I said, I had issues in school and that I was primary.
But is
school.
that down to rejection then? Would we class that down to rejection? Either if it's from the dad or is it from because your brothers was going out? Like, because what I'm trying to say to you is that people don't just act out of character for no reason. There's always a link to something.
Well, I can't speak for others, but for me, my anger issues formed out of a lot of resentment for situations, if that makes sense. So as in, I wasn't jealous that my brothers were getting from their dads, but I didn't understand as to why.
Why you're not?
No, because not even that I'm not. Because remember, I said the gentleman, the silhouette human being. I still had his family, and I was like, let me be clear. If I wanted something like that, I could ask them for it, but I didn't because I'm thinking it's not.